now to Luigi Mangione, the man charged with the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown almost a year ago to the day.
Mangione is back in court in Lower Manhattan for the second day of a crucial hearing.
It could determine what evidence is allowed in the case against him. Joining us now with more is ABC's Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you. A very, very busy morning ahead for you. Walk us through what's happened so far in court. What new information came out that was so pivotal?
Yeah, Charlene, Pedro, Brittany, good to see you guys from 100 Center Street, where Luigi Mangione is back in for a second day of his evidence suppression hearing, trying to get certain items thrown out, trying to get certain statements that the accused killer of United Healthcare Chief Brian Thompson made to authorities after his arrest. That includes a couple of correction officers from Pennsylvania who testified they had casual conversations with Mangione. One said he talked about carrying a 3D printed gun, which prosecutors say was the murder weapon found in his backpack. Another correction officer said Mangione talked to him about health care and the differences between private insurance and nationalized health care. And I think the goal from prosecutors is to suggest that Mangione had these voluntary conversations, so all of his statements then should be admitted into evidence. The defense has a much different view, arguing that the authorities never properly read him his Miranda rights.
So what does this mean for the case going forward?
We're about to see what evidence, what statements, Pedro, the judge is willing to allow or not. That's the whole purpose of this hearing and why prosecutors are calling so many witnesses, I think, to lay a foundation to say all this evidence can properly be tied to Luigi Mangione, even as the defense is arguing that the statements were made in violation of Mangione's rights to remain silent, to have an attorney present, and his backpack was seized and searched without a proper warrant, the defense says. If the backpack goes, the contents of it, that means no notebook, where Mangione's writings, prosecutors say, amounted to a confession, and no gun, no murder weapon that police said was also seized from the bag.
And Aaron, will this have any effect on Mangione's federal case?
It may indirectly, Brittany, because, of course, this is all about the state case where Mangione's pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder charges. He's also pleaded not guilty in the federal case, and you can expect his attorneys to try to make some of the same arguments to exclude evidence there. The standards may be a bit different, but the defense is certainly hoping some of the same thing applies. When he was arrested in Pennsylvania at that McDonald's, the defense says he was not read his rights, he was not, that the officers did not have a warrant to search the bag, and that applies whether it's the state case or the federal case, according to the defense.
Okay, so before you go, Aaron, walk us through what's going to happen this morning and what will happen next after this hearing.
More witnesses, more officers who interacted with Luigi Mangione after his arrest in Pennsylvania. We may learn new statements. We didn't know that Mangione talked about health care, according to the correction officer, or talked about carrying a 3D printed gun, according to another officer. We also heard for the first time the 911 call that was the catalyst for getting him arrested in Pennsylvania, when the manager of the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, said her customers noticed the bushy eyebrows and said he looks like the CEO killer in New York. And you could hear her tone where she's almost giggling, but also a little bit nervous, as she said her customers became concerned that there might be a killer in their midst. And then we saw footage from the McDonald's surveillance camera, Mangione sitting calmly at a table, alleged to be Mangione, eating his McDonald's breakfast with officers coming and going, but no real concern on the part of the officers. One of the employees kept coming in and out of a broom closet. Patrons went to the restroom, and we're about to hear from Altoona police officers who said they searched Mangione because they feared he might have a bomb. Certainly didn't look like it on the footage that we saw that anybody was concerned there was any kind of an explosive.
Ooh, very, very interesting stuff. I mean, we know that a lot of people have been captivated by this case. They're going to be watching what happens today, and we're glad that you're on top of it. Aaron Katersky. We'll check back in.